Okay, so what's going on, everybody? As you probably know, and you're probably very well aware, the BMW M8 has recently been released in iRacing. This was a car that I totally didn't expect. In fact, to be honest with you, I expected that I knew that sooner or later iRacing was gonna introduce a BMW since the Z4 was phased out. But it wasn't phased out, but people just fell out of favor with the users. So I knew that sooner or later a BMW was going to be introduced, and to be honest with you, I thought it was going to be the M6, being a more available car than the M8. And to my great surprise, they actually turned out to introduce the M8, which is something that I've been looking forward to. And awesome car. I mean, it's like a tank. I mean, you've seen it on races, just about as big as the Bentley, maybe slightly not as big, but still a huge car. And hasn't done too well in the WEC, but it did great in IMSA this year. As you know, Augusto Farfus and company won the Daytona 24 Hours. So yeah, it's now here with us. As you can see, there it is. And let's take a look at it. Let's see. Well, we got the typical stuff here. It's left front and right front tire pressures. Mess with that. We'll mess with that later. And when it comes to the garage, well, we got the typical spring rates. Yeah, this is the typical spring rate damper combination assembly. It doesn't have the torsion bars like the Ford GT does. It's got practically the same stuff as other GT cars. It's got the traction control. It's got the lateral traction control. Throttle shape. Boost. This is a twin turbo car, by the way. It's a 4-liter twin turbo V8, cranking around 550 brake horsepower, give or take. Yeah, basically the only modifications I've made is I lowered the fuel level so far from the baseline. Haven't touched anything else. Drivetrain, we got just typical stuff here that you find on the Ford GT and the Porsche 911 RSR. What else? Wheel lockup lights. Okay, it does have that. This car doesn't have ABS. Yes, as per WEC regulations. LED lights. Rear wheel lockup lights. Oh, okay. Yellow. So the wheels lockup lights turn yellow whenever it's the rear ones. Boost knob, control launch position, boost position 1, boost limits. Okay, well, yeah, basically the same stuff that we're all familiar with. Nothing nothing new to introduce. So yeah, let's take a look at the car itself. Okay, well, it's kind of like the Ford GT. I mean, the visibility out of the front window is kind of limited. But let's see here. In-car adjustments, we have your typical things. Brake bias, pressure. Yeah, engine mapping. Throttle control. I think number 9 will be like the most support. And number 10 will be off. And down number 1 will be like the less support. We'll keep it at number 6, where that's the default setting. Mirrors. Yeah, well, there's nothing much else to do here to change. Doesn't have the option like the Porsche has that actually changes the displays here on the monitor here. But taking a look at the monitor, tire pressures is displayed, fuel quantity. This is the time delta, gain loss, lap time, gear, pedal throttle shape. Okay, this is the traction control, both of them. Engine mapping, boost. Number 1 will be like the highest boost. EB. What does that mean? ALS. Got no idea what that means. Can't be ABS because obviously this car doesn't have it. But okay, let's see. Let's see what a BMW V8 sounds like. And I can actually see the car twisting there as I apply throttle, obviously because of the torque. That's a nice touch right there. I wonder what this is. Does it have any function? Well, who knows? Let's go out. This is Summit Point. This is where I usually do all my my car setups. Okay, so it's a low revving engine. It revs up all the way up to I guess 5,500 RPM, kind of like the Ford. Got cold tires, so you got to be aware of that. Wow, it's got very good response, very good turn in. There's a lot of traction there on front wheels. It actually has very good brakes as well, despite being a heavy car. Alright. Went through the S's like a hot knife through butter. Wow, the handling in this car is awesome. And barely touching the steering wheel, the car is responding almost immediately. Yeah. Alright. It does have a tendency to try to oversteer and throttle, even though it's got some traction control support. Wow. The overall grip of the car is amazing. I'm not sure if that's the overall characteristics of this car, or maybe it's because of the new tire model that was introduced in today's build. I think this is the version 7. There were several things, interesting things that were introduced. One of them is the new engine model where you can actually stall the car if you're not too careful with the clutch. Obviously, this car doesn't have that problem because I think it has an anti-stall system. Whereas cars like the MX-5, you can easily stall the engine if you're not careful. That'll be interesting to see. Okay, so my first lap time was 1 minute and 8 seconds. There's the warning lights that my front wheels are locking up. So I guess they turn green when the front wheels are locking up, and yellow when the rear ones are locking up. Yeah, great car. The corner entry is amazing. Okay. Guess there's a very good reason why iRacing is introducing this car into the sim. I think it's because of the fact that BMW has announced that they may be withdrawing from the WEC at the end of this year, and no word yet as if they're going to be withdrawing from IMSA as well. And Ford has recently announced the same thing. They're withdrawing from both WEC and IMSA, which is sad, by the way. Really sad to see them go. Okay, so yeah, that was like 3 laps. The car feels great. Let's go a little bit crazy here. Let's turn off the traction control in both settings. Let's see how the car handles like that. Okay, so I gave it a little bit of throttle there, but the rear tires didn't spin. Of course, I'm being careful as well. I don't want to lose control of the car. I was trying to break traction there. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah. That V8 is going to spin those tires if you're not careful. So yeah, this is the new addition to iRacing. Let's just hope that it doesn't become like a spec series. You know, iRacing Le Mans series and the IMSA category. That's what happened the last time when the Porsche 911 was introduced. Everybody was driving Porsches. Before that, everybody had like an even hand between the Ferrari and the Ford GT. And then everybody was driving Porsches. Given the way this car handles, I wouldn't be surprised if it does. Like everybody would want to be driving this car. But that's okay, I mean, it doesn't matter. For me, this is going to be my weapon of choice from here on in. I'm going to be doing a lot of IMSA this season 2. Mainly because it's a 45-minute race instead of 60. Alright, let's go into the pits. Alright, man, this car is amazing. Despite the fact that it's almost like a boat, almost like same size as an aircraft carrier, and yet it handles like the most nimblest thing you've ever driven in your whole life. So yeah, this is the newest addition to iRacing. Very happy that we have this car, and I'll be doing a lot of driving with this. So stay tuned for next season. I might be doing a race tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think the schedule is for Le Mans. Yeah, it's a daily race from, I think it's today they're racing at COTA, Circuit of the Americas. Tomorrow is Le Mans, and after that I can't remember, Spa, I think. So I might be doing one of those 2 races. It's a 30-minute race. And also, if you noticed that they just lifted the car up, that's because they just finished refueling. You know, as per WEC regulations, you got to refuel first and then you change the tires. That's exactly what's happening here. They're following the rules, so that's good to know. So yeah, this is the BMW M8 GTE. Very happy to have this car, and go out and buy it, try it for yourself. You're not going to be disappointed. Okay, so hope you guys enjoyed this one, and see you on the next one. Bye bye.